to 5, but I didn't consider myself an entrepreneur. I just found other ways. I found out of the box ways to make it all work. I actually ran away from kindergarten. Like, that's how out of the box I was. I knew at 5 I was meant to not be in the box, people. So my real journey began. It actually was it was a personal journey that I got PTSD, and PTSD shows up with massive anxiety, brain fog, sleep issues, digestion issues. And I had this really tiny whisper not to medicate it, to find a natural way to get back to me. Because if I had numbed that out, I knew I would feel better, but I wouldn't know when I was back to me. So I went back to school to become a certified health coach and learn about myself first. And then I was like, oh, I got to go share this with other women, right? Like, I have to empower these ladies to know that you can get back on track. You can feel better. Like, it's inside of us all. And I was coaching, like one-on-one health coaching, and somebody introduced me they gave me the book Flip Flop CEO, which is a network marketing book. And I had never heard of it before, really. Like, I didn't really understand it. And I read it, and it talked about reoccurring income, like doing the work, building the foundation, and getting paid over time for decades, and even your family reaping the benefits. And I was like, well, dang, that's super smart. And so I wanted to make sure that I put that into my business plan. So I did, but I needed to align with a company that was in integrity with my holistic healing journey. So that was my introduction to the whole MLM world. So
I love that. What makes the holistic healing journey like so important to you that you wanted to align yourself? Because there's so many multi-level marketing companies that have, the structure of that passive income that you're talking about. So, for me and for so many other people, it's not enough to have a business model, right? It's like you have to be really emotionally tied to what it is that you're doing in order for it to really click and stick. So what is it?
well, I'll tell you the hack, right? Because that's what most MLMers think, and that's why most are not successful. They're putting the passion of the product first. And like, yes, that's a must, but they need that business system that you just talked about. Most don't have a business system, and that's why they fail. And it's called network marketing, and most don't know how to market properly. So then again, it's a failure. Like, most people sign up for their first MLM because a friend introduced them to a product that's amazing. Network marketing products are always high, not always, I shouldn't say always. A lot of times are higher quality than what you get on the shelf, because the companies do rigorous testing on them. They do third-party testing. They test all the ingredients, right? So all of that's going in the back end. So if you get a really high quality company, the products are going to be superior, right? But most people are introduced to the MLM world through a friend that shared the product. And they're like, I love this product. I'll share so I can make some money, right? Well, that was my first rodeo, right? I did the same thing. A lacrosse mom was like, hey, here's my natural. And I was like, great, awesome, I'm joining you too. And she had no business experience, and neither did my upline. So I stepped into an upline that didn't know how to grow a business. And I was like, crap. Like, I have a certain amount of hustle in me. Like, I can sell, but they didn't teach me how to duplicate. And that's the whole concept of network marketing. So now, fast forward, I'm with a new leadership group. I'm with a company that completely aligns with my mission. And we have systems put in place to duplicate. So now I stepped right into that, and I exceeded in 1 month. I exceeded what it took me 7 years to build in my old company.
Wow. So that's the
Yeah.
hack. That's the hack, is getting involved with people who have the leadership skills to be able to take the company
Yes.
to that next
That's
level.
a huge piece of the hack. So Liberty, like, let's look at, like, because it's such a low entry rate to get into network marketing, people don't ask a lot of questions. They ask, what they ask more than anything? Well, how much is it going to cost to enter? And like, it's cheap, people. It's cheap. It's always cheap. It's always under $1,000. It's like not that much money. the question you should ask is like, okay, if you were going to go buy a franchise for $100,000, you would be asking some serious questions. Like, what's the model look like? What's the training look like? What's the duplication look like? What's the scalability to look like? And guys, like, put a hands up if you ask these questions when you joined your MLM, because most people are not. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to high five you, sister, because that's a smart business move, right? If you're going to buy a Starbucks, you're going to ask a lot of questions before you put your money over there, not just like, how much does it cost, right? Like, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, right. So, nothing comes easy and nothing comes, for free. So, what would you say to somebody who's trying to, really make a lot of money? Like, what does it really take to make a lot of money? Because I know you are super successful in your MLM and you are helping a lot of other people be super successful. So, how do you know that you have the right fit of somebody who wants to work with you specifically, who has that drive to make a ton of money? Because I know when I'm looking for clients, I'm looking for those action takers, the no excuse, no bullshit, excuse my language,
Yeah.
that really wants results. So what would you say is like the backbone, the foundation to actually achieving success in your model?
So first of all, who you're surrounding yourself with, right? Like, are you hanging out with leaders or are you hanging out with complainers? Are you leveling up and putting yourself in a room of people smarter than you that scare the crap out of you? Because that's how you're going to grow and stretch, right? So when I was with so I had two companies, right? So I call one my practice company, right? I learned so much. I do not regret it. Like, it taught me so much. And now I have my legacy company. And I felt like I was the smartest girl in the room at the first one. And like, I was the one that had all the ideas, all the masterminding, like creativity. And so I would only get as far as my thinking would allow me, right? So my goal from the last 2 years is to surround myself, like you, Liberty, with really smart women. I mean, they can be men too, but we're talking to the women today. Really smart women that like teach me things. Like, I want to grow too, right? Like, I don't want to be capped out as the smartest girl in the room, because then I'm done, right? So I surround myself with tons of smart women that we mastermind and we're like stretching and innovating and growing. So that's one thing. The other thing is about who you're surrounding yourself with. Here's the other pitfall for network marketers, MLMers. They focus on being an expert in the product, which is cool, right? Like, I'm always gonna vet my product, and you're gonna know for sure that I was the guinea pig and it checks all my boxes, right? Like, the product's important, but I'm not leading with the product. I'm leading with the business. I'm talking business. I'm talking money. I'm talking strategy. I'm talking systems. And if you were going to join somebody and they're talking products or they're talking successful strategies, which one are you going to join? Where are you going to go? Who are you more attracted to, right?
Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. That's actually triggering me to think, like, when I was attracted to you, I was attracted to a post by another coach that I highly regard. And she says, the way that I'm able to be so successful in my business and have all this great energy that just aligns and it's attractive is because I've learned how to optimize my mind with high vibe stuff. And I'm like, high vibe stuff? What's high vibe stuff? And she's like, well, so, I would be doing everybody a disservice if I didn't share the secrets. I'm like, give me all the secrets. What are the secrets? Like, yes, tell me. And so I always, go after what I want. And that's how I met you, is because I really wanted to optimize my brain power and reach that next level. And for me, I find myself, like you said, as the one that has all this creativity and has all this brain power going on, but we can't level up if we're not surrounding ourselves with higher vibe supplements or higher vibe people. And so when I met you, I was like, oh my heavens, she is all of that. So yes, I mean, I make it my business to find people like you. So I know.
Oh, girl, I love you so much. Right. So many things happen when you're in alignment, right? And when you're increasing your own vibration, you attract at such a higher level, right? And that's what we're wanting to talk about today, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, my supplements optimize energy and creativity and brain power, right? So that's really important. But see, what happened is, like, I don't lead with my supplements, but yet
Yeah.
I found somebody that wanted to use my supplements. So it still works, right? So like people are afraid of niching down and talking something outside of like the familiarity box, thinking I want to leave like people off the table. And that's not true at all. Like, I'm not out there talking supplements. I'm out there talking business. And yet you found me, right?
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah,
we're
it's
hot bobbing, sister.
exactly because you're finding the people that, you know, align with that highest message, and it's not about the stuff. It, like you said, it's just not about the product. That's just a tool
Yeah.
for everything. And we all know that we all have different tools like essential oils and, you know, a Mercedes Benz to help us to feel great. You know, whatever the things are. But to me, the most valuable thing is the relationships. And
Yeah.
I have seen my business blossom and flourish with pouring into those relationships. So, you know, that's just another message to send out to people who are wanting to really grow and scale is don't be afraid to make those relationships, because in network marketing, in coaching, in any business, you have to get your message out there to people who are relatable. So, you know,
So, you asked me this when we were off camera earlier. I forget how you question it, but the essence of like the question was about just we talk energy all the time. Liberty and I love energy. Like, the higher you vibe, the better you feel. And we're all 100% frequency. So we want to get that frequency as high as possible, which brings us to the whole world of social media, right? We're all building our businesses using social media. And it's like, how do you succeed in this noisy, noisy, noisy world, right? How do you know which friend requests to take? How do you know which groups to be a part of, right? And maybe we were talking about how you found this high vibe group, right? And how you have found high vibe, successful um, business partners in this group, right? And it's about reading the energy of people, right? Like I do like quick scrolls through, and energy will pop, truth will pop, vibration will pop. And when I get a pop, I'm like, well, okay, here's where I'm going to stop, right? Like, it stops the scroll for me. So be really mindful of your social media world, right? Like, that's part of what you're bringing into your energy field. So if you're feeling like you're in low vibe, like, there's some low vibe groups out there. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. Like, I don't do that direct sales shit group. Like, it's so low vibe. Like,
oh, absolutely.
it's so low vibe. Like, you got to protect your energy. Our one responsibility here on earth is to take care of our own energy, period. Nobody else is going to take care of it for you. So that's a piece of it. Like, who you surrounding yourself with, what are you ingesting physically, what are you ingesting emotionally, spiritually, right? It all matters because it all affects that vibration.
Yeah, and I think that people can really relate to that because, you know, if you've ever gone through any sort of trauma or any sort of, you know, depressing state of mind, or, you know, things just aren't going the way that you want, hear that. Hear that message that that's a low vibration, and all it takes is changing that mindset to get to that highest frequency. Absolutely possible. And I love how you just tie all that in to being this MLM guru that is crushing the algorithm. So that is so good. Let's talk algorithm for just a minute.
Yeah.
Can you give some tips to people who are like, hey, I just want to get more visible and be able to do more business on social media, because there is that thing that we're working with, that's the algorithm that's filtering out our message from other people's messages. How do you stand out? How do you get your message to the right people?
Yeah. So first off, you need to know who you're talking to, right? Like, so you don't want to just be talking to everybody. Like you want to find your girl, right? Like you want to have, like, we call it the avatar in my training. Like, who's your avatar? Who are you looking to speak to? Because you want to know like what they're going to hear, right? You want to know what results they're looking for, what pain points they have, what language they speak, right? So that's a piece of it. So that's like really fine tuning your niche. I would say, like, how are you showing up? What's your energy look like? And it's like, even lighting matters, right? Are you showing up in dark lighting? Do you have a shitty background? Like, that all matters, right? Like, I'm not going to stop on somebody's dark video ever. Like, I don't even want to hear what you have to say, because like there's dark there, right? So even
Yeah.
the lighting matters. Back to the algorithm, right? So what I train out to my whole team is what I have figured out to do really successfully. And as a health coach, that's where I was the accidental entrepreneur. I just went to heal myself. I didn't mean to go into business, but I was like, I can't keep this shit quiet. And health coaches, there are not like health coach positions out there, by the way, people. So if you're in the health coaching industry, I feel you, sisters. Like, definitely find me. I will give you my cliff notes, like, join me on the mission. But you get out of health coaching school and there are no jobs. So you have to become an entrepreneur if you want to serve your purpose, right? And I know that I can't abort mission on that. So part of the whole algorithm is building out that sales funnel, that online sales funnel. And I am not a network marketer that wants to do home parties. I think they're gross. They give me anxiety. I am not a network marketer that wants to go to BNI meetings and freaking pitch, like speed pitch in the room. Like, it's just completely out of alignment for me. It's not what I want to do. So I had to figure out how to build a really authentic sales funnel online so that it attracts, right? Like, that's what like, well, I'll tell you my hack. You guys want to know like a serious like hack?
Oh,
Everybody
yes.
thinks they need leads, right? And they're like, how do I get more leads? How do I get more leads? I actually reverse engineer it with my team, and I teach them, how do I close? Because if you don't know how to close, it doesn't matter if I teach you how to get 1,000,000 leads. So like, let's work backwards, become a strong closer, and reverse engineer it. Because the other thing, Liberty, if you don't know how to close, subconsciously, you're going to not attract leads, because you're going to know, oh shit, I don't know what to do with them. So you're going to have this unconscious block.
Yeah.
So we reverse engineer it.
Mm.
So you know. And when you know, the attraction comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you bring that back to the subconscious mind, because really what the subconscious mind is doing is it's controlling whether you do or whether you don't do
Yes.
every single thing in your life. 96 to 98% of your habitual movements are in that subconscious mind. And it's funny because, I talk to people and they're like, working out is so easy for me. And I just have done it for years. And, that's why my body looks really good. But there's that piece that they don't exercise, which is that mental piece. And the mental piece is, what other habits do I need to do to align to my purpose and my goals? Because if you're out of harmony, it doesn't matter. Like you said, you can get all these leads, you can do all the
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
but then when it comes to the actual, final stage, it's like you're bombed, and then you're like, I'm a failure. I'm not good at this. Maybe
Oh,
I'm
all the noise.
yeah,
Junk,
all
junk,
the noise.
junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then good luck showing up on social media when you feel like
Oh,
shit.
yeah. I've been through that, and that's another thing that I think it's great that you brought that up, is that if you are having trouble showing up in your business, it is, absolutely okay to ask for help, and to find,
Yeah.
leaders like yourself or myself that can help guide people to that point where they're like, can't wait to go live, press go live. Can't
Yeah.
wait to do that,
Yeah.
because live video converts, it attracts.
Well,
So
it's the quickest way. You would ask me something about how to show up on social media and get your leads. Um, Here's social media, guys. This is social media exists for relationships, not for sales. And so in the network market, and the reason why network marketers and MLMers have such a bad rap is that they go on there and they like vomit their product and their company all over their
Yeah.
feed, right? And it's gross. And I'm here to raise the integrity of that, to show you there's a better way where people are attracted to you than you freaking, I call it vomiting. So social media is meant for relationships. It's meant for engagement. It's not meant for sales. People don't show up on social media to buy. They will buy, and they are buying. So it is a good place to sell, but you have to know how to do it right. But the first step is you've got to be great at having engagement, creating relationships, and in giving value and giving that reciprocal energy, right? And that's the first step of showing up on social media, not asking for the sale, not telling them how wonderful your products are and this is going to save your life, because nobody shows up here to be sold. It feels like a used car salesman, right?
Absolutely.
No bueno.
Yeah, and that's what we're programmed to see, so people can detect that subconsciously. And like you say, not even stop, not even give it 1 second guess, just scroll right past you.
Yeah, if your profile picture, if that banner is like, I sell XYZ, people are like, oh, she's only on here to sell me, right? Like you don't want to give that vibe. Like people pick up on vibration, right? Energy matches energy.
Yeah, I love that. That's so in aligned with my message. And so thinking into
Yeah.
thinking into better ways of standing out and to really.
Bob Proctor was one of my original early mentors. So when you and I got connected, this is how great the universe is, right? Alignment is just amazing. So you wanted high vibe. We got connected on a frequency. And I was like, well, what do you do? And you're like, I'm Bob Proctor trained. I was like, this is hot shit, man. Like people need to know this. Like people need to know that they can get access to that type of support and training that's not Bob Proctor, right? Like you're the conduit, you're the vibration connector. It's really cool.
It is really, really cool. Bob Proctor is amazing. He has such a wonderful energy about him. Like he's a guru.
He gets the joke,
much.
man. He gets the joke. He gets the flow, right?
Yeah.
Everything's about flow. And you too, like you teach the flow. If it's open and flowing, it's abundant, right? And if there's these tight restrictions and you can clear those, then you can open it back up again.
Yeah, and I think that it's, if you just have a program, a easy to digest way of learning more about this, then that's one piece. But to actually apply that into your life, it takes some connection to be able to resonate and relate and, get that this is my individual struggle and how do I move through that. People think that their situation is super unique, and one thing I will say is that yes, everybody is unique, but our energy is all the same. So lots of people want to be heard, and lots of people want to get in the space where they have that supportive environment to where the paradigm doesn't keep coming up and screwing up everything that they're going after when it comes to reprogramming that mindset, which to me has been invaluable because I've gone through all kinds of trauma in my life. I'm surprised I don't have PTSD. I mean, maybe I have a form of it, but
yeah, we all have a form of it. FYI, this is what I've learned working with thousands and thousands of people. It's a spectrum. It's on the stress spectrum, right? So there can be like just this low vibration of stress to this full extreme, right? And so like with PTSD, how I experienced all at once, sleep, anxiety, digestion, all these symptoms of the trauma at one time. Somebody like over here on like this end of the spectrum might only have like sleep disruption or might only have a anxiety issue, right? Like but they might not have all of them. So I've learned everybody's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
PTSD is just way, way far over to one side.
Right. And there is a holistic approach to, I don't want to say curing it, but supporting you to that highest frequency, because
Right.
everything it is, it's all about frequency, but
Right.
you can only go to the highest level of what's surrounding you. And so that high level mentorship is out there. And I didn't even know that. Like
Well,
that.
you know what's so cool about high level mentorship, right? And we should all have at least one, if not multiple, in our life, is that you have a vantage point to see it outside of my weeds. Like
Mhm,
I can so clearly see everybody else's stuff,
mhm.
but then my own stuff, right? Because it's attached to ego, it's attached to the trauma, it's attached to the past. Like there's so much junk in the way. Somebody that doesn't have all that junk attached to it can see it from such a higher perspective and see it really quickly and help guide you like how to clear that.
Yeah, that is what it is. And I unfortunately took the longest route possible.
I
So,
mean, it's a journey. We get, what do we get? Like 80, hopefully, years of the journey to figure it out.
right? That's a great perspective. But the thing about it is when you yourself go through that journey, you're able to condense it for someone else and be like,
Right.
don't mess with all that.
Cliff notes. I got the cliff notes.
Cliff notes,
Yes.
exactly. Yes, because I mean, one thing that is good is that we're all for expansion and fuller expression. And it's like, if I can get from point A to point Z squared in 6 months versus 6 years, like I did.
Yeah. You know
that,
what's
that's
cool is I'm seeing out there. Are you seeing this too? There's like a massive awakening going on down
oh,
out there, right? So like I am seeing people get really fast results. Like I am seeing people like wake up and go. Like it's not taking, like I think we were like kind of like the trailblazers, the forerunner. Like I've been at this, way over a decade. Like I was trudging through some stuff to clear the way for everybody that wants to come in
yes,
behind us, right?
yeah.
So don't you see that too, that like people that you work with are getting like much faster results, like
Oh, yes.
light
Absolutely.
years, like boom, you're like hot shit, let's go, like we're gonna go to the next level now, right?
Yeah. And I
Hmm.
love how you said that. Like when you get around people who scare you, like their energy's like so up there scares you. This is what I want to say about high level mentorship is it's not to get you in a little coddle sling and hold you and say it's okay. No, it's to say, let's freaking go, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the energy and that's being in the spirit of it really truly. And it's like, we can take baby steps, but that's not what we do over here up at the top. That's for the masses. And I think people
Yeah.
are realizing that and they're realizing, I don't like to be shepherded along. I want to be skyrocketed to where I
Yeah.
want.
And let me tell you guys, if you're not scared, you're not growing.
Mm,
I'm completely transparent. I'm scared every single day. Like I do something that scares the crap out of me every single day. And it's not comfortable. But I'm like, because I've pushed through those walls of fear and I see what's on the other side of them, it's like a little adrenaline junkie. Like it's like, okay, but that's where the world expands. That's where you get to go to the next level. So it's like, what is the cost of staying here in Safeville? Is it worth it? Right. At the end of the day, probably not, because if you are, you're probably feeling anxious. You're
mm,
probably feeling low energy. You probably have like a little low grade depression. I'm telling you, you want to get through that. Like you just keep pushing that comfort zone. It's like, you're going to have that discomfort one way or the other. Which way would you rather have it?
absolutely. Yeah. And one thing I want to say before I go is that, if you're out there, if you're the audience, if you're listening to this and you have asked yourself recently, how can I align to, my higher purpose? And I don't really know what that looks like. Then I see you as, the exchange of that energy. I do. I think that you are able to really help people to get that income stream, which we know, these millionaires are saying that they have like 7 streams of income,
Yeah.
so multiple streams of income is really powerful. So I see that stream being like the big, huge waterfall, you know,
Yeah.
through you. And
I love that vision. The
yeah,
waterfall. Who loves that?
yeah, isn't that glorious? Like a refreshing waterfall. And then, the sustainability of being able to reach to the top requires that backbone of mindset. And that is where I can come in and absolutely support,
Yep.
that paradigm shift, because those freaky traumas, they want to come in and
Oh
just,
yeah.
it's not worth it. Stay
Limiting beliefs. They said
up.
no, I'm gonna shut down, I'm
Yeah,
rejected, I'm done. Yeah,
yeah,
no, that is such a great point you bring up, right? So for all my MLM brothers and sisters out there, right? Like it's a balance between kick-ass systems that duplicate like mad and the mindset that clears all that bullshit away so that you can show up as your highest and best self. It is a total it's a balance for sure. It takes it all.
yeah. You need it all. Like, yeah, they always say mindset is 95% and strategy is 5%, but I'll tell you that 5% is like such quality.
Yeah, because you can hustle with mindset. If you don't have a strategy, it's like the hustle gets old. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're here to awaken and help people to, get that quantum leap. So if that's you today, follow Shannon, and follow myself. I provided links here. If for some reason the live stream didn't work, this is being recorded and it will be, able to be replayed and all the good things. So don't fear. We got you guys and we're here for you. Send us a DM. We'd love to hear your messages and we will make time to make your dreams come true. All right, guys,
Yes.
take
Love
care.
you, Liberty. Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Uh-huh. All right.
Girl, great job. I love your little